Very special member of the Rads who's I don't know, stepped into another place at this point.
Next chapter.
Another chapter. Hey, guess what? He's going to be riding with us again.
He's going.
Hey, Mark Draper and Will here are going to have some good things to say here about Chuck.
All right, so I had a few things I wanted to say here. So I had to write them down. So I can't pick up the top of my notes. Yeah, I can't see.
That explains things.
As everybody knows, Rainbow Bike shut down at the end of November, and its closing was really an end of an era. Rainbow was a fixture in the early mountain bike culture of Southern California. Opened in 1981, Rainbow was one of the original mountain bike shops in all of California. The origin of the mountain bike scene here in Southern California and the roots of the Rads can be traced back to the shop. All the original Rads racers in the early 80s and 90s relied on Rainbow and Chuck as a primary sponsor and mechanical support. Over the years, Rainbow was the hub for numerous shop rides, Rads rides, and events, and a place to have a beer and talk about bikes. So in honor of Chuck and the closing of Rainbow, we ask some of the longtime Rads to provide a few personal stories and tributes. Several of those tributes will appear in the next read of the Pat's putting together. However, we're going to read a few here tonight, and take it away, Mr. Boyd. He's going to do his best Ross Vegas.
We got a nice big Ross. Okay, my brother, here goes.
Okay, here you go.
It all started on a nice typical Laguna day just shy of 30 years ago. I walked into the Pie Shape on Nice Place in the highway and met Chuck and Sue. The first question out of my mouth was, what are these mountain bikes that everyone's talking about? The rest is history that ended up in many great friendships and even more rides and fun-filled times. Make no mistake, I'm the one who coined the nickname which makes him wake up in the middle of the night, usually alone or with his plastic sex doll, I might add.
How would you know?
With cold, that's Ross. This is Ross riding it. With cold sweats and nightmares, which causes him to immediately reach for a Marlboro and a Budweiser that sits right next to his bed in case of emergency. With all seriousness, if it wasn't for Chuck, I wouldn't have, it's written like that. I wouldn't have made half the races I was lucky and healthy enough to participate in. I can remember one Leaping Lizard, circa hell, I don't know, a long time ago, where in my first practice run I tacoed my rear wheel at the rock section. This was on the Friday before the race. I went crying into Chuck's shop. Chuck! Chuck! Help! The race is Sunday and nobody has a spare wheel for me. Can you whip one up for me? As always, he gave me a, I don't know, Ross. I'm really busy, and I don't know if I can get it done. In his usual happy demeanor. The phone rang early the next day, and he worked late early to get it done for me. I then proceeded to break other parts of my bike, maybe even that same wheel, seat post, and other stuff. He set me up, gave me an account to pay for it all because I didn't have all the money necessary to basically buy a new bike and parts for that weekend.
Did he ever pay you?
This weekend... That's a great question. This is the weekend where I got the reputation for destroying bikes. I literally broke everything on every single pre-run. Thanks the bicycle gods for Chuck. He saved all of our asses on many occasions, whether we had money or not. There were also many an evening where the late and gay communist sympathizer, Tito Whining Liberal Fuentes, Jack and myself would sit in the shop after closing time and get pickled out of our minds. Then we would end up at the Hawaiian to suck down some more cocktails and have combo meals, all while having some great conversation and forging long-standing relationships that continue to this day. Well, for 3 of us anyhow, said liberal is in Puerto Rico managing a leftist gay bar. Man, those were good times. It's not over, it's Ross. Living in Laguna, drinking a lot, riding my bike all the time, and hanging out at Rainbow Bicycles. I have learned a couple of key things from Chuck. The customer is always wrong. Always wrong! And whenever someone acts like an idiot, you tell them, "Fuck you!" I use these same business principles to this day, and I have you to thank for my success, Chuck. Now that Chuck's had enough of the bicycle business and that camel jockey Hebe, who raised his rent so high it no longer made sense for him to stay in business, thanks, Ahmed! He'll have some extra money to buy more Budweiser and Marlboro. Yeah! All of you enjoy the party and yearly tradition that I started many years ago at Chapleau. Sorry I couldn't be there, my brothers. Drink 1 or 10 for RV. P.S. Hallie's a pole smoker and going to Tina's leftist gay bar in Puerto Rico for solo vacations. I still know about everybody except Art. Tom needs to stop being a Hebe. Joey needs to stop whining and learn to be a man. And Colonel Klink needs to shut up!